Hello, everyone. My name is Lilnita Carrico, and ASI has asked me to present a topic on content marketing that I discuss often with clients and other small business owners, and that is how to manage creating content, enough content for your social media, your blogs, etc., for your business, especially when you're a small business and you don't have the resources of larger companies that have a dedicated social media team and content team. So today's topic is how to plan a year's worth of content in a week, and will help to give you a template to manage social media content creation without pulling your hair out. A little bit about me. I am a digital marketing strategist and consultant for companies of all sizes. I've been doing this for over 20 years, mainly in the technology and fintech spaces. However, most recently, I've been consulting with lots of small businesses, startups, et cetera, because that's what I love the most, is working with new businesses and watching them grow. So this has been a very relevant topic, again, because it's something that can be a challenge and overwhelming, especially with all of the noise out there that other companies are making on social media. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so the topic is how to plan a year's worth of content in a week. And, are we going to accomplish creating every single piece of content for the next 12 months within a week? No. But what this does provide, as I mentioned previously, is a template to allow you to plan your content, which number one will result in much better engagement and ROI, and also alleviate the stress of what many people do which is content creation, the week of, sometimes the day of, and on the fly, which, is stressful, isn't the best business strategy, and ultimately doesn't take advantage of the social media platforms, which is an essential part of your marketing mix. So we all know that content is king, but how can small businesses keep up? As I mentioned previously, a lot of the small businesses I work with find it overwhelming when they're looking at competitors who are, churning out high quality high quality content and volume of content. It can seem overwhelming and difficult to keep up. However, I think a best practice for any business is there is a way to nurture your fans and your audience in a social media setting, depending on the channels that are most useful for you, and not to get deterred by others who seemingly have infinite budgets and amazing content that they're creating. It's really more about consistency and nurturing your fan base and growing your fan base. So a best practice for social media marketing would be to post about 3 to 4 times a week across 2 to 3 networks. One fallacy is that many companies think that they need to be on every single social media network, from Snapchat to Twitter to Instagram to TikTok, et cetera. That's not true. The best way to engage an audience, especially with limited time and budget, is to choose the platforms that are most important for you and your business, and then focus on those and nurturing that audience and trying to get them to convert into customers. So I say 2 or 3 networks, and then 3 to 4 times of posting a week. And then if it's a platform that has stories, which seems that most of the platforms have these short form content that lives for about 24 hours, which is a story. If you can, 1 to 2 daily, but that's more behind the scenes, not the sort of stuff that we plan out a year in advance. But if you have the time, it's a nice to have, but not necessary at all. But even with that, 3 to 4 times a week across 2 to 3 social networks, that's at least 30 posts a month. So again, that can seem overwhelming for a small business, but I am here today to help you figure out how to plan this out well in advance, so you've got your content planned, and you have a good strategy that you can then take the months, once you have the plan in place, to really refine, see what's working, and optimize. So as I've mentioned the word plan quite a bit, that's really what this is about, to have consistent content that's relevant and, again, most importantly, works for you and engages your followers and converts them to whatever the desired result is to plan it. So today we're going to discuss how to map out your content needs well in advance to align with your sales and business goals, because those should be planned out well in advance. So you should align this part of your marketing mix along with those plans, how to build a content calendar. So we will be looking at how to build a 12-month calendar and then take it quarter by quarter to really refine. And then what kind of content to create. This is one of the things that small businesses struggle with often is, do we have YouTube videos? Do we have blog posts? Do we create short form content? Do we have images, how-tos, etc.? So we'll go through how to determine the best type of content for you and the distribution channels for you, and most importantly, the KPIs to track and best practices to optimize your content strategy. Okay, so to start, as the title says, how to plan a year's worth of content in a week, the first thing you want to start with is your annual content calendar. So this is, taking a big, broad strokes overhead view of the year ahead and plan for the most important content. So that could be company milestones, anniversaries, etc., product launches. If you know that you have new products or services that you're going to be launching at certain times of the year, put these in your annual content calendar so that you can plan for those effectively. Sales and deals, if you have seasonal sales or holiday sales or any sort of times where you're incentivizing through discounts or whatnot, put those in your annual content calendar. And then traditional holidays, Christmas, 4th of July, etc., New Year's, and then social media friendly holidays, which are the darling of social media. Everybody loves these days, and they actually do help with engagement. So there's tons of social media holidays like National Dog Day and Chocolate Chip Cookie Day and Give Someone a Hug Day, etc. I have on my website at lolitacarrico.com, you can subscribe to get free content calendars every month with these holidays and tips and ideas. But the idea is not to jump on every possible day because there's something that you could be doing every day with these social media friendly holidays. It's the ones that make most sense for your business, whether it relates to your business or lets your fans see a personal side of you. So if you're a dog lover, and everyone on your team has dogs, National Dog Day might be a nice day to post something to, share your furry pets so that your audience kind of engages more with the team, etc. But again, the idea is to take an annual calendar and just plot out the big essential days that you can, knock out. Okay, so what I like to use is a tool. There are tons of tools out there that you can use for your team to manage your social media posting, no matter how big or small your company is. Whether it's one person or multiple, you can share these tools with others so everyone can contribute and build out the calendar. A couple that I like are Buffer and Hootsuite, which some of you may have heard of Hootsuite. Because it's been around for a while, but they have calendar functions that let you plug in dates. So I was saying before, plan out your annual content calendar. You can do this on the system, which then also will auto post for you. So you can kind of set it and forget it in a sense. So the tools that I mentioned, Buffer and Hootsuite, and even Canva, which many of you might be familiar with Canva, which is a graphic design tool that offers great tools to help design social media content, but Canva even offers scheduling functions now. So again, it allows you to plot out your content calendar for, from as little as a week to a year, and then visually look at it so you can fill in gaps. Now, most of these platforms are not free. However, they're fairly affordable. Canva does have a free option, and then you can get some more functionality with the others up to $99 a month, which honestly, I feel is a great investment because it really alleviates a lot of the stress of posting and scheduling. And then it also offers powerful AI-driven functions that learn over time. So it'll recommend, for example, Buffer and Hootsuite will recommend the best times to post based on your actual followers and engagement and what type of content works best. So it will schedule at those optimized times for you, which I think is just a huge lifesaver. And it also offers a lot of analytics too. So the paid versions will let you be able to track the KPIs, which I'm going to touch on a little bit later, to see what content is performing best so that you can then optimize and focus more on the content that performs and maybe eliminate the stuff that doesn't perform. So once you've kind of got the tool you're going to use, whether, some people still use old school Excel, which is fine, or a spreadsheet, or a tool like Buffer or Hootsuite or Canva to manage your social media content, then it's time to start creating the actual content. So something that I feel very strongly about is, if you don't have a graphic designer, you can work with a freelancer. There are great sources like Upwork or Fiverr, where you can find freelancers who can help you design brand templates. If you don't have a designer or you're not a strong designer, like I'm not a strong designer, so I work with a graphic artist for my own content and for my clients. But here's an example of what I mean by brand templates. So you want to create templates that will match up with the different kind of content that you're going to be creating. So typically 10 to 12 styles that match your brand style. So again, your colors, your logos, etc., that provide a variety and aesthetically look nice and are, again, on brand. And you want to create, again, 10 to 12 styles that match the different platforms that you're going to be focusing on. So like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, for example, each have different graphic requirements. So you can work with someone, or again, if you don't have the budget, Canva offers, templates, etc. But get like some standard templates in place. So this is an example of a client that I work with that is a financial services client, and their logo color is mainly white and blue. So these are just some of the templates that we use for their social media. And as you can see, we mix it up with images so that it's not very template heavy, videos, etc. But overall, we're staying with the colorway of the blue and the white. So step 2, what kind of content should you be creating based on budget and the platforms that you're going to be focusing on for social media? Obviously, if you are on Instagram, that's a very visual platform. So that will have to mean some sort of video and graphic content, but Twitter, Facebook are more about text and engagement. It really depends on where your audience is. So in order to first figure out what kind of content you should be putting out on social media, you really want to figure out what your content pillars are. This is basically the themes or the topics that you are going to always kind of come back to in your content with the images and the caption. That is the foundation of your content strategy. So for example, what are you trying to relay about your business through social media? Is it about value? Is it the quality of your products or services, the expertise that you bring, a social good, if there's a philanthropic element to what you do that you really want to bring forward in your social media. So figure out first, what is it that you want to relay? Some, it could be the quality of your products, and that's what will always come back to the content. So whether it's through the images or the captions, you're always focused on quality, best in class, etc. And once you've got your content pillars in place, what I like to do is, have a document that has what the content pillars are and then what the messaging is. So that can tie in not only in this realm for social media, but also for PR, et cetera. So I think that's important to have that brand strategy of what you're trying to relay and thread that through all of your marketing efforts. So content mix, again, based on your budget and time and the talent that you have on staff, or that you possess yourself, determine the type of content you're going to be creating for social media. So could it be, will it be very image heavy, again, for a medium like Instagram, et cetera? Videos, if you're on, TikTok, or Snapchat, et cetera, or even, Instagram and Facebook, have great video options, and that can create lots of brand affinity. So will you be creating videos, how-tos and tips? So would it be demos of how to use your product, or, tips on how to, use your services, et cetera, or just tips that relay your expertise? Figure out what you want your content mix to be. Of course, videos, as I touched on before, most of the platforms offer now great tools for video creation and uploading, and they're always going to create more engagement. People love watching videos and engaging with them. So if you can, as a rule of thumb, because videos can be time consuming and labor intensive, aim to create 1 to 2 videos a month, and again, plan them out in advance. So let's say, your goal is to create 1 to 2 videos every month, and you've got your 12-month plan. Figure out what those key content themes that you want the videos to be about well in advance and get them done. So again, it's not last minute editing, figuring out, what the content will be, work with either a freelancer or someone on your team. Again, you can do these on your phone, nowadays, and there are great free editing tools too that you can buy or some are free on like the App Store for your phones, etc. It really depends on your level of comfort. But if you're going to create videos, I definitely recommend using the strategy of making them well in advance and having a consistent theme and template similar to the brand template. So once you've kind of figured a lot of this out, right now, at this point, you should have your 12-month calendar with the key, big dates in there and figured out your content mix. And you've got your brand template. So the first step is to knock out the easy posts and get them out of the way. And so now that you've got your templates, let's get the holidays out of the way. Those product launches that I mentioned, at least if you don't have product images or whatnot, well in advance, at least get the caption. Whatever you can get out of the way for the things that you know and have planned as far in advance, just get them done. If you might have to wait till the last minute for images, create the captions, load them up to whichever platform you're using and save them as a draft until you can get the other elements in place. Similar to the first slide with your annual content calendar. So holidays, product launches, sales, industry events, etc. Just by getting these out of the way and actually scheduling them in your planner, you'll find that you actually have a lot of content that's already done. So writing captions is something that I think everyone struggles with, even if you're, a great writer and really understand your brand voice, etc. Writing captions that engage can be stressful and can be a challenge for many. Planning in advance helps not only alleviate the stress of writer's block, et cetera, but it makes sure that you have a strategy in place and that you're focusing on those content pillars and relaying the right message. You're not doing this, which we all have been guilty of, which is posting something and then editing the caption over and over again because you didn't get it right. By planning everything out in advance, you're not under pressure and writing maybe not the most optimal message. And again, if necessary, you can hire a copywriter who can knock a lot of this out for you well in advance. Another option that I have found extremely useful is harnessing the power of AI, artificial intelligence, in helping write. So a tool that I love, which helps beyond just overcoming writer's block for social media captions, is called Conversion AI. And it's a great way to create engaging content, or at least get the juices flowing. You simply type in what your post is about or what you want to write about, put in some keywords and the tone, and it'll spit out some ideas of what you can post. So it'll at least get the juices flowing. Like, do we always use exactly what this tool spits out? No, but it certainly will help. So I'm just going to move away from this PowerPoint for a second, just to show you how this platform works. So this is Conversion AI, and they've named their AI tool Jarvis. So Jarvis basically helps you write all kinds of content. Today we're focusing on social media content, but just by scrolling through, you can see that they have everything from social media ads, Google ads, if you have Amazon products, Amazon product descriptions, etc. But I just want to quickly show you, for example, Instagram post examples. So let's say you're trying to promote summer promotional products and you want the tone to be friendly. You basically type in what it is. I've already pre-populated this to make this a little faster so you don't have to watch me typing. So summer promotional products, and you want the tone of voice to be friendly. And let's say we want 5 outputs, which is 5 ideas of what the tone should be or what the content should be. So then you just ask Jarvis to generate the content. And within a few seconds, you have some ideas. So here you go. I'm a big fan of promotional products. They're good for marketing. They can be used in many ways. It's summer and we have the perfect promo products to get your message out there. Some great ideas, again, to get the juices flowing, and they even put in hashtags, which helps because hashtags is how it helps you get discovered as well. But again, this is a great way to overcome that writer's block, especially when you are planning out well in advance and you're trying to plan a lot of content. You can get repetitive, and this helps you sort of break out of the mold. So I just wanted to show this as an example. Again, it's a very affordable option, not only for creating social media captions, as I mentioned, but they have a variety of templates, so you can apply this for blog posts on your website, etc. So I think that this is a great tool if you suffer from writer's block, which many of us do. Okay, so now once you've got your annual calendar planned with the tentpole content, with key milestones, annual holidays, etc., what you can do is fine tune quarterly. So at the beginning of each quarter, look at the next 3 months and fill in more details that align with your overall marketing and sales strategy, because they'll become more crystal clear the closer that you get to the quarters. And so then you can fill in any gaps that could mean more information about product launches, specific promotions, certain things that you want to highlight based on sales. If sales aren't going so great for a certain product or service, you might want to amplify that. Or if things are going really well with a certain side of your business or products, you might want to amp that up as well. So again, take a look at the content strategy per quarter and just, again, fill in the gaps, add more content that's timely based on the company objectives, or if you're participating in events, but use the same strategy that we used for the annual planning, but just condense it and get a little more granular each quarter. And you move to monthly. So then every month you've got, most of the broad strokes out already handled. So you won't have to focus too much on content creation, at a week or day by day basis. So what the goal is at this point is to use the time that you might be setting aside, for social media, which I would say, 20 to 30 minutes a week, to focus on engagement. So that's where you really take that content that you've already plotted out and is being scheduled and posted on your channels, and focus on taking that to the next level to build your brand and engaging with your fans and growing your fans. So make sure that you comment and reply for sure to any of your followers that are commenting on your posts or sending you direct messages, but also take a little bit of time to interact with either those in your industry or your customers' posts to, again, engage with them and help them understand your brand and feel that connection as well, because that's what social media is all about. On platforms like Twitter, you'll often see retweets. So retweet things that maybe your clients or industry peers are saying. Same with LinkedIn. You can use that as a resource more for professional development and solidifying your industry foothold or expertise. So share content, post content, repost, etc. But again, the goal at this point is you've been relieved of your content creation duties, and you can really focus on engagement and measuring success, which is, the next part is, how do you know that all this content that you've created is actually working? So measuring the success of your social media efforts will help you refine your content calendar. So again, looking at those KPIs, as I mentioned, some of these tools like Hootsuite and Buffer allow you to view analytics. So they'll show you your top performing posts, your least performing posts, which were most engaging, which resulted in ROI, whether it's a click-through or a purchase, etc. So really look at those. There are a lot of analytics you can look at, and again, depending on your time and size of your team, you could get very into the nitty-gritty, but the most important things to look at is growth and ROI. So you want your fan base to be growing, and you want them to be quality followers. So quality followers would be how often your fans engage with your content and how often they take action. So they click through to your landing page or buy from a shoppable post if you are using those functions on Facebook or Instagram, which allow people to click through and make a purchase right there through the platform. By monitoring growth and ROI, you'll be able to tailor future content and refine your content strategy, because you'll be able to understand what your followers are most responding to. So main takeaways about how to create a year's worth of content in a week is take a top-down approach. Planning out the year and then fine-tuning each quarter and then each month is not only manageable and less stressful, it allows you to create content that converts. And that's number two. By planning in advance, you can honor your brand pillars and offer effective content that resonates with your followers and grows your brand. Because if you just plan at the last minute, you're not taking advantage of the huge value that social media can provide to your company. It's really a waste of time, because you're not going to get the engagement and the ROI that you're putting in. And most importantly, take advantage of technology. There are amazing tools, from scheduling software, video editing tools, AI-driven platforms that can help you create and optimize content so that your time is focused on engagement. And as I mentioned, you can connect with me on my website, lolitacarrico.com, where if you subscribe, I will send you a free monthly calendar of content ideas. And if you have any questions or need advice, you can reach me through my social media platforms or email me at hi@lolitacarrico.com. I hope this was helpful, and happy planning.